Hello, dear friends. I welcome you all to the channel Russian with Puma Messi. Yes, this is the channel Russian with Puma Messi. However, at the same time, it's a new channel, and the new channel I'm going to call Demystifying Russia with Lilian. We will be talking about Russia, all things Russia. Russia is a huge, mysterious country, huge, mysterious land. Here is the map. Here we see how the two huge continents, Europe and Asia, meet each other. Yes, we met with you thanks to Messi. And Messi the Puma, he lives in Russia. He lives with Sasha and Masha, and that's how we met. And then, as the channel was evolving, we were developing our relationship further and further, and you wanted to know many things about Russia, Russian culture, and even someone suggested that maybe I should talk about me growing up in the Soviet Union. And yes, I realized that the country is very interesting country. Russia is mysterious land, and actually, yes, it's though it's a mysterious, but why the mystery is there? Because I think it's the most misunderstood country in the world, and misperceptions create lots of misunderstanding and confusion. And that's why when we don't understand something, when a human being doesn't understand something, what would be our first reaction? Yes, we want to run and hide or proceed with caution. Or maybe if we are said to be afraid of that thing, we're probably going to be afraid. And that's why I think that this is time for us to sit down on this channel and talk, have a real nice talk about Russia and those mysteries that are not such a big mysteries. And if it talks through, and maybe we will be able to demystify Russia. So that's how the idea came about, new name for the channel and the new direction of the content where it's going to move. Well, the misconception of Russia came about not yesterday, not even in the last century, where Russia started living in a different social way, different social organization of the society, socialism. And of course, in 1917, the world was divided in two opposite ways of living, socialism and capitalism. And this is that legendary cruiser Aurora that proclaimed the beginning of the October Revolution, the one shot from which announced that the revolution began. And that's a whole other story. We will be touching upon that here and now. But today I want to go even further in history and saying that, okay, of course, it started not yesterday, but a long, long time ago, even before Russia became a centralized state. And the centralized state it became in the 16th century when the small principalities in Eastern Europe were unified and united under one prince. We're going to the 16th century. I'm not going to take you all the way to the single digit centuries, but no, the 16th century, and the first centralized Tsar and the Tsardom of Moscovia of Russia became known under the rule of Ivan the Fourth. And Ivan the Fourth is known here in the Western media and in the Western history with the name as Ivan the Terrible. And that I call the first betrayal of Russia on behalf of the interpreters. You see, when we are talking about interpreters and language learners and how languages work, the error made by an interpreter lives in centuries. And that's what it is. The error with the title of Ivan the Fourth lives in centuries. And when I'm going to tell you Ivan the Fourth, you probably wouldn't even connect this person to the nickname the Terrible. Everyone knows him as Ivan the Terrible. And however, in Russia, he wasn't called the Terrible. He was called Ivan Grozny. Ivan Grozny. And Grozny is by no way terrible. It means strict and awe-inspiring person, strict ruler. He was strict but just, and he ruled Russia very successfully and led it into and he actually built the first unified Russia and all the way through the 16th century. Yes, and but the West still calls him terrible, and I am not going to call him terrible on this channel. He is going to be Ivan the Strict. Ivan the Strict. And of course, we can't blame the Western media all alone, because that portrayal of Ivan the Fourth was kind of popular in Russia to some extent, and that kind of continued throughout the centuries. Even in the 19th century, one of the well-known Russian artists, Ilya Repin, he created a painting, huge painting, that called Ivan the Terrible, Ivan the Strict, Ivan the Awe-inspiring killed his son. So Ivan the Fourth is killing his son, and here is the painting, and the entire world knows it. And then it comes in reality, Ivan never killed his son. Ivan Grozny, Ivan the Strict, he never killed his son. That was just the rumors, and Ilya Repin got the inspiration for his work based on the assassination of another Tsar of the 19th century in Russia. And that's how the imagination of an artist got spread into the artwork, and the artwork became very famous, very popular. Um, and that's pretty much everyone knows now in the world that Ivan the Terrible, the strict one, he killed his son. But you know what? He never did kill his son. He never did that. However, another Tsar, Russian Tsar, well admired Peter the Great, the one who brought all the Western reforms to the Russian society, he killed his son for real. Yes, he did torture and kill his son. So he tortured him to death for supposedly conspiring against Peter the Great, because Peter really believed that everyone around him was conspiring against him. And back in those times, if you were suspected, then you're being tortured. And the tortures at that time, they were horrible, and people, I don't know what they were confessing, but they rarely survived those tortures. So anyway, Ivan the Terrible, the strict one, the first one, he didn't kill his son. Yes, on Pepas. He didn't kill his son. However, Peter the Great, who is well loved, he did kill his son. Go figure. That is Russian history, and that's why we are demystifying one of those mysteries. You know, back then, the European monarchs and the monarchs in general, they do have habits of killing their family members. Remember Henry VIII? He actually beheaded two of his wives and few of his cousins. So I don't know, being a member of the royal family sometimes really it's not that great. And again, when we are talking about those times and we are judging it hard, we kind of judging them from the point of view or from the perception of our modern society, from the society where we value our lives too high. We know that in our society, we kind of learn that the human life has a different value. But back then, Remember, we are talking about not medieval Europe, but the Europe of the 15th, 16th, 17th century. If we are thinking about good things, we're thinking Renaissance, all that culture, everything is fine. Europe was in the Enlightenment era, and new scientific discoveries and the progress and the first industrialization and all the good things were coming out of Europe. And we are forgetting about all those religious wars in Europe, expansion to the New World, and how it was conquered, that people were killing people left and right. So, yes, it's easy to sit here and say, oh my God, that Ivan the Terrible was really terrible. But you know, he was just playing the suit, and he was a part of his time. He was how he was supposed to be, and that's how the first mystery of Russia. That's we are kind of demystifying the first mystery of Russia. So Ivan the Terrible is Ivan the Fourth, Ivan the Strict, Ivan the awe-inspiring guy. Yes, and he didn't kill his son. Well, that was our first introductory video on our channel, Demystifying Russia with Lilian. And I welcome you all to the new channel about huge land that is far, far away, where the two continents meet each other, Europe and Asia, and create this unexplainable, very interesting, and very unique mix of people, cultures, unbelievable country that actually doesn't know that it's quite other Europeans. Is that Europe? Is that Asia? We don't know. And because of that, that we don't know whether it's Europe or Asia, it's going to make our channel and our journey through our new videos more and more interesting. I welcome you all to the channel. Please subscribe and let me know in the comments what topics would be of interest to you, and we will be proceeding together with you, and we will be talking about Russia and Russian mysteries together. See you very, very soon.